Layers. A story of loss, loneliness, and redemption. On the surface, it may seem like a film about gunfights and science fiction. But in reality, the story goes a lot deeper than that. Join us in this documentary where we will be exploring the more subtle themes from the movie with the cast and director. Join us in peeling back the layers. Back in July, when Layers was first released, a lot of people asked me how I came up with the idea behind the story. The answer is that the first idea was a basic one, and then following on from that came all the characters and development that you see in the movie today. I do remember when I first had the idea that sparked off the entire universe of Layers, and it was about 3 years ago now. I was in a taxi driving to the airport. I looked out the window at the sky, to the clouds, and I thought, what if heaven was a physical place in the sky? And that just started off everything.
I thought the storyline was fantastic. I remember Sam discussed this idea with me like maybe a year before, and I was immediately hooked, and it sounded really interesting. The only thing is, I'd say it's a shame that we didn't get enough time or budget to do it to its full, because it was amazing as it is. So can you imagine how good it would have been if we had, you know, even 50 quid budget?
Obviously I led on from that thinking, what if hell was a physical place? Then just thinking of heaven, earth and hell as these 3 layers. And I was thinking, well, maybe that sort of thing would be science fiction.
3, 2, 1, 80 out of the sea, and shut up, action.
Class. I need to change it to where should I start? There.
Yeah. So okay, you guys are looking at him now. Okay, you don't
I think the storyline was really good because there were loads of different characters which kind of interacted really well, and I think this was kind of due to the writers and the director, and I think the storyline was really effectively executed by everyone that took part in Layers.
The storyline was great. It was very interesting and very intriguing.
So all these ideas about the characters and the plot that would become Layers basically built up in my head, becoming more and more complex for months and months and months until the opportunity arose. And then it finally did arise in June 2011. We were told to do an English project in school. There were certain areas to choose from, poetry and journalism, but obviously the thing that stuck out to me was scripting.
I think it was really well planned out. It was amazingly written by the one and only Sam Diamond, and brilliantly directed and everything. And he also allowed us to put in our own kind of interpretation on the storyboard itself, which was extremely useful because most directors and writers will not allow that.
I would have liked to see more backstory of like the initial creation of the Layers. I think that would have been really interesting, and more character development from Joe and Peter.
Before we even started the script, I thought about the characters I had in my head. Who would take the reins for these characters and portray them in the way that I imagined them?
Don't be fooled by how much it cost to buy. It's worthless to me.
I think Harrison was an amazing actor, and he really got into his character well. And I think what was so good about his performance was that he understood the character he was playing, and he was able to fully convey all the emotions that that had to be conveyed in the film to make it as effective and as good as it was.
I found that Harrison was an amazing actor in Layers and throughout the filming process, as he addressed his character very well.
Yeah, Harrison was a really good actor. Because of his good acting, I think that was one of the reasons why the film was really good. And yeah, I don't think he made any stupid mistakes. He did a good job.
I wouldn't say it's one of my best performances, as I wasn't really, involved in like the initial original making. But I think that I did try quite hard. If I wanted to, I guess I could have, varied my pitch or whatever. But to be honest, I didn't want to go too overboard, as I often do sometimes.
Hey Harrison.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just looking over the dailies and scene 11B. You were meant to take off the cross and you didn't.
Yeah.
Well, we need to refilm it right now.
You serious?
Yeah.
You said I've got to refilm that?
Yeah. Why do you have a problem?
Do you actually want me to do that? Why didn't you just tell me at the time?
I'm sorry.
Isn't that your job? Isn't that your f***ing job to tell me these things? Listen, am I working with f***ing amateurs here? Yeah. So I was trying to keep it quite low key. And I think it kind of matched the calm and collectedness of my character.
I'm not here to play games.
What do you mean?
Speak inside.
Yeah, Seth was like, he did really good acting too. I mean, when he was like talking about the world coming to an end and like drawing the map and all of that, yeah, it was really convincing. And yeah, I think the audience would have liked his acting.
I found that Seth was quite a convincing actor at times during the filming process, and was able to give off the impression that he felt what the character would feel.
I thought Seth was quite good. I particularly loved the way he went he did that quite a few times, didn't he? But I think that was particularly effective, showing the exasperation of his character until his untimely demise.
His death was a bit sudden in the way that he acted it out. However, he made it seem more realistic than I think I was capable of doing.
I thought that was fantastic, and the emotion in Basil's scream, it was just fantastic. In fact, do you mind if I watch it again? That scene is just so amazing.
I think, as a whole, my own performance was okay. I think it could have been better if I had spent more time trying to get into the character and learning the lines and practicing a different way to say it to convey the emotion effectively, so that the film could be better. But I don't think I was the worst character on set, but I don't think by far I was the best at all.
She died. She was killed in a bomb. In the war? I'm sorry.
Basil. Well, Basil has a very, let's say, unique acting style.
And even sometimes it can be a bit annoying, I think it actually worked on camera, because every production, I think, needs a bit of comedy and lightheartedness, and I think Basil was that in our movie. He made it able so some people could laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, I thought I did good. Well, although I didn't keep a straight face the whole time.
And by unique, I mean original, quite strange,
Eccentric.
Yeah, you could say that. And I think that this unique acting style brought a new angle to the film, one that most people couldn't understand.
Yeah, I'll give myself 8 out of 10 at least.
He's on his own little level that nobody quite understands, and I think that we could learn a lot from his unique acting style.